Hello and welcome to a VO's Journey podcast. My name is Anthony Pica. This show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business, sidestep all the crazy things that I am really stepping in, especially right now. Hello, everyone. It is so awesome to be coming back to you after probably the longest hiatus I've ever taken since I started this voiceover business back in 2017. And I am thrilled today to be coming to you with a lot of great information about my new studio that's about 95% done. The house is about, I would say 75 to 80% done, but it's getting really close to us being able to move in. But also, I have some awesome news about a new beginning I want to talk to you that I am going to be starting for Fiverr, a new journey. So I'm excited to be talking to you about that. So let's kick this thing off. Let's do it.
This is VO's Journey. With your host, the incomparable Anthony Pica.
All right. It has been forever and a day since I have done a podcast. And then actually I just did a video. I just did a video tour of my studio, and I just posted that on YouTube. I'll put a link in this description, but it is 95% done, and I'm super thrilled because since December 11th of 2021, when we sold our house and we moved in with friends, and we are still living with them. First off, they're amazing friends, but second off, we're still living with them. I've been using the truck, right, as the place where I've been recording, as many of you know, and it's gotten more difficult over the last couple of months to maintain everything. I've been working really hard at the property, trying to get it done, and it's crazy. Things get away from you, and I miss being able to have my own studio. Being able to record as much as I used to, being able to do videos and help more people, and just in general, be in my business, because it's really felt like, it's felt like I've not really had any stability. So I'm very, very excited to say that we are shooting for moving into the house this week, which would be incredible. The house is, it's getting really close to at least being able to have us moved in. The floors are in. The majority of things are in, you know what I mean? Now, we don't have kitchen cabinets and stuff because that's taking a while to come in, but that's not something that we can hurry up because we have to wait until they're delivered. And, that's been delayed because of the supply stuff. But they just tiled our shower, so that's really exciting. The floors for the kids upstairs, the toilets are in. We had to at least have one working shower, and a toilet before we felt like we could move in, as well as the floors, the walls are, everything is up and done, and molding is up and done. Windows, we had to put some new windows in. It's just been a lot of stuff. My studio, on the other hand, is like 95% done. I'm super excited to get in there and start putting in all the stuff and making it, a complete studio to record in. So I'm very excited about that. And I can't wait to do my first, video in there and my first recording in there. So we're getting close. It could be by the end of the week or maybe next week, but I'm hoping within this week and next week I'm in there recording, at least being able to begin the process of, putting all my touch and all the rest of the stuff into the studio, so it actually makes it, a place to work in. But the podcast today, I had to give you that update about what's going on with me. And yes, I'm in the truck. I opened the window. So if you hear birds chirping or wind blowing or whatever, it's because I've got my window open because it's a beautiful day out, and I'm sitting in the truck right outside my house. So I thought, why not? But I wanted to talk to you today about something that I never have attempted, and I've wanted to do this, and I want to try to make it work and take you guys on the journey with me, and it involves Fiverr. So let me talk to you a little bit about my Fiverr business, what's going on, and what this new journey will entail, or what I'm going to try to do. So Fiverr is, of course, for many of us, many of the listeners, Fiverr has become a staple of our voiceover business, right? I mean, a lot of people I coach and work with, Fiverr, 70, 80% of your voice, the voiceover business. I mean, Fiverr is a behemoth. And, it's always been the staple of my voiceover business. Although over the past few years, I've branched out and I do voiceovers from a variety of different places. But still, the majority of the business comes from Fiverr, just because Fiverr brings it to me. You know what I mean? Once you get up and you get established on Fiverr, you become, it becomes automatic. But where I'm going with this is, at the height of my Fiverr business, because at this point, my Fiverr business is pretty low. When I say low, my voiceover business in general has gone down, just because it's been very hard to manage everything without a home, a studio, a place to record. It's not that I don't like recording in the truck, and it is a great place to be on a pinch. Like, perfect example, last week I had to go on a trip to Raleigh, North Carolina. It was my birthday, but my wife's horse was not doing well, and we had to take the horse to NC State down there. So anyways, we had to stay down there, and I had some voiceovers that I had to do. And it was I just hopped in the truck, did the voiceovers. I have, if you guys remember, I have the from Verizon. I have that MiFi Verizon hotspot that gives me up to I think it's like 100 megabytes of service that of internet. So I can have up to 10 devices on that. So no matter where I am, I can have internet, I can have a Wi-Fi, and it worked fantastic. I did my voiceovers, set it up, and went on my way. So in a pinch, recording in your car, your vehicle, with this setup that I have, works really well. I mean, it does. But it's not something that you want to do for a long period of time. It can be very exhausting and trying, just because, putting up, taking down, storing the stuff, having to, you kind of get your neck gets cramped, because it's not set up that, in this way, that's not what you're doing in a car. But anyways, the point I'm trying to make is that it was great on a pinch, but, it has not been great for my voiceover business. So with that being said, Fiverr has gone down. A lot of things have been on purpose from my standpoint. And this will hopefully be helpful for some of you people who might be going away or trying out different things with your account. I put it on, I put my account on 3-day delivery. Well, first off, let me back up. When I left and went on vacation, this is not a vacation. When December 11th, when we sold our house, I put it on 7-day delivery. Now, if you know anything about Fiverr, right, the search terms on Fiverr are 24 hours, 3 days, 7 days, and any. It defaults to any, but the majority of bulk work on Fiverr goes through 24 hours. Right? People are looking for 24-hour turnaround. Everybody wants everything now. It is what it is. So, I put it on 7 days because, I didn't want to put my account on pause, right? I don't like to do that, but, 7 days gives me a lot of time. Well, when I did that, right, it totally like my account, totally just went down, in work. And I raised my rates to $50 per 100 words. And, I, throughout my Fiverr career, my Fiverr business career here, with voiceover, I have always wondered where that cap is, because you see people who charge anywhere from $5 to $150. It's all over the place, and you begin to learn over a period of time with Fiverr, where things, like where limits are, where the bulk of business goes. You know what I mean? And so anyways, I put my account, on the 7 days. I moved it up to $50. And of course, as expected, my business went down a lot, and it has, I switched it back to 3-day delivery, from 7 days, but I kept it at $50. And, it has definitely, been at 50% or less of what my business was, as I rev down my business anyways. But where I'm going with all of this is that, I want to try something that I've never tried before on Fiverr. Back when, if you guys remember, if you listen to the podcast, back when I interviewed Red Horrocks, I was really blown away by just her, insane amount of work that she was getting on Fiverr. And, I believe at the time, and this was 2 years ago, this was 2019, so almost 3 years ago now. Gosh, it's crazy. But she was doing like 600-700 orders a month then. I don't know if she's doing more. I don't know if she's doing less now, but she'd been doing that for years and years, right? And, she was in that top, 0.01% or whatever of people, who, one had made over $1 million, but also on Fiverr, but also, was making, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month. And for me, the most on Fiverr I've ever made in a month was around $10,000, which is a lot of money, right? But that was not what I was generally making a month. I was generally making between $6,000 to $8,000 a month in the height, in a couple of years as I was working on Fiverr when I got really busy. But then as the coaching business and everything grew, my Fiverr business slowed down just because I was, continuously raising rates, continuously, weeding out a lot of the bulk work. But if you take a step back and think about, for me, I take a step back rather and think about that I've always wanted, and it's probably because I'm a competitive person or it's really interesting to me. And yes, the financial benefit is great, but I've always wanted to see what it would be like, to make $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month from voiceover, on Fiverr. I think that would be incredible. I've always wanted to experience having, 500, 600, 700 orders a month. Having an assistant who helps put those together so I can go into the studio, record, for a couple of hours and submit, and then do the rest of my stuff, and see what that feels like, turn off my phone after 6 because I can't accept anymore, because of getting too many messages. I've wanted to experience that. I don't know, maybe call me crazy. I am crazy, but I've always wanted to experience that, being that in demand. And, as I look around, and I remember Red calling, there's a couple of the people, her calling them like bulk providers or super. I had to go back and listen to the interview. Interview was like an hour and a half, but I think we talked for another hour and a half off of the recording. But she has so much information. But she called it like super sellers or something, where they were doing that many orders a month. And, if you go and look at her account and people like her who are doing, there's a couple of them who are doing like just that crazy amount of orders. Like I look at her stuff and she's still doing $10 per 200 words. Now I think she's moved to 2-day delivery, but she usually does 24, but I'm sure she moves to 2-day if she can't actually keep up with a 24-hour delivery. But it really, and I always thought, gosh, that's like insane, because you're gonna get a lot of stuff that's tough and doing a lot of things, and like she made some points, like she doesn't edit. I mean, like she'll record, but then she sends. You know what I mean? She doesn't spend time editing stuff. A lot of us might spend, 15, 20 minutes editing a piece after we recorded it for, 5 or 10 minutes. So, one thing that might pay us like 10 or $15 ends up taking us 45 minutes to an hour to do, right? As opposed to you recording, taking you 5 minutes and then submitting it and you're done and going on to the next one. And I think that's a big confusion when it comes to pricing, and bulk work on Fiverr, you know what I mean, is that if you are taking a long time to record something like that and only being paid $5, $10, $15, it does feel like you're getting gypped, right? And that it's way too low, okay? But at the same time, if you record, right, and get yourself up to where you record, that in 5 minutes, submit it, and you move on to the next one, I mean, making $5, $10, $15 in 5 minutes, that's pretty good, especially when you consider if it's in bulk, right? I mean, like, think about it. So even if you have, I think I've done these numbers before, right, for us, but if you had like 12, right? So 12 would be 60, so it'd be an hour. So if you did 12 voiceovers, right, we'll just say at like, $120, we'll say it's $10 per voiceover, right? Which it's going to be more. Okay, it is always more because with extras and everything, but we'll just go $10 average, 12, voiceovers a day. I mean, you're talking, that's $120 a day. I don't know about you, but that's a great voiceover job. And you got to think, I mean, that's a great lot of money you're making in voiceover a day. And you have to think too that like those people will come back to you and it will continue to grow, right? And it feeds the beast. So basically what I'm saying is that I want to experience that. I want to push the envelope, right? And I want to get back to, those $9,000 or $10,000 months, but I also want to move up and get to $20,000 a month and $30,000 a month. I want to see how far the rabbit hole goes and to see how much I can handle and what we can do. Also, I'm excited to tell you guys I'm going to be bringing back Fiverr Fridays where we're going to go live. I got to set all that stuff up and everything, but I don't know if it's going to be this week, but maybe next week, but I'm super excited about that. At the height of Fiverr Friday, I think we did like 70, 80 episodes, of Fiverr Fridays. That was great. It'd go live. I think it was 1 p.m. Eastern on Fridays. And, we'd had tons and tons of people who'd come on and ask questions, and it was just a blast, and, I haven't done it in a while. In a long while, I don't even know if it might even been almost a year. So, it's just been crazy things happen. But, as we go, as I move forward, that is the goal. How am I going to accomplish that goal? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is make myself more accessible to people, clients on Fiverr. And doing that, one, right, is switching my stuff from 3-day delivery to 24-hour delivery. Also, I don't even know if I feel like what this would be like, but I'm changing my price because I'm at 50. I've been at 50 for a while. I mean, I wonder what it would be like if I moved my stuff to $10. Like really like $10, and to see what that would be like. And then switch to make sure. And here's another thing, switch about the editing part. Here's another interesting thing. As I've been in and doing voiceovers in the truck, I have stopped doing editing. I mean, I might just hit the dynamics processing button because I have it set to do like where it takes away any a little bit of background noise if there's some outside noise. But I don't do any editing anymore. And that's it. You know what I mean? I mean, and I don't even, so with this laptop computer I have too, not my iMac, with my iMac, I had everything set up on there and everything saved through my Apollo Twin to where there was a lot of pre-recording stuff going on, like compression, EQ, etc. for the space. All that was done on my iMac, but it was not set up on the laptop. And I never went as far to do that because I was like, I can't even tell how I really sound with the equipment I have and everything I'm using. You know what I mean? And I know I might be crazy this, but I never trust headphones anymore. You might ask me why, because I went through years of listening to myself in headphones and I can't stand it. Like I would rather, so that's why I bought like a pair of JBLs in my last studio, right? And I would always listen to my stuff. Now I had headphones in my booth because I had to be able to hear because the speakers were out, or the monitors were outside of the booth. But I assume like in my booth here, because it's going to be separate again, I will probably do that as well. So but I think that for these purposes, I'm like, I'm just going to submit. And the crazy thing is submitting work, doing all this stuff, all I get, just get back reviews saying, excellent, work sounds great, everything is fantastic. So, I mean, like, so it's like how much of the effort I was putting in to what I was doing, I wonder if it was totally necessary. I think that the reality of it is, though, on one hand, I definitely have some good equipment, but I've heard a lot, that could, I'm assuming that contributes a lot. But for the other, people who don't have necessarily, $1,000 mic or $1,000 interface or whatever, you know what I mean? I think we still put a lot more, into voiceover, like into our editing and stuff, because of course we're trying to do the best we can to put the best product out there, and we should. But I think sometimes we're way overkill on it because we don't necessarily know any better. You know what I mean? So I've learned a lot, at least from that standpoint of thinking, I might have been doing just way too much or trying to do too much. And that means a lot, right? Because the time it takes us to do like an audition or submit a job, right? That cuts into how much work we could do. Like if I wake up tomorrow and I have 20 jobs, do I have enough time in the day to have 20 jobs? Now, me, I'm doing this full time, but a lot of you guys work a full-time job and have a family and have responsibilities outside of you trying to run your voiceover business. So like you wake up with 20 jobs, that's a lot of freaking jobs. I mean, it's great. It's heavenly, but imagine if you had to do that in 24 hours. Could you do it? Right? So part of that is your editing process. How fast do you edit? You know what I mean? And so to me, that's really important, and I'm excited about that. So I'm going to be making some massive changes to my Fiverr account, and we are going to see what happens. I imagine, this is not something that will happen overnight when it comes to getting lots of business. I don't think so. It's going to take time. It's going to take months, maybe some years. But I'm going to keep you guys posted and keep up on this, this journey, which getting back to getting into bulk, the first goal, right, would be to get back to $10,000 a month on Fiverr. And then the second goal will be to get up to 15,000, and the third will be 20,000. And then the fourth will be 25, and then we'll go to 30, and we're going to keep pushing the boundaries and see how far we can go. And going to have a hell of a time doing it on the way. All right, you guys, listen, thank you so much for listening, for being a part of a VO's journey, and the being such a supporter of the podcast. So excited. If you get an opportunity, check out, I'll put the link again for the studio tour. Check it out. It's exciting. I'm thrilled, and I can't wait to give you guys the next update with everything that's going on and actually be in my studio hopefully this week. All right. Thank you as always. I love you all. Have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you soon. Peace.